Hey, what's up, guys? Got the first video here going for FXLifestyle, new group. So thank you guys. Thank you for everybody that's following. That's in the group. Definitely appreciate the feedback. I love the response I'm getting, and had a great last week. Caught a lot of pips. So I got the charts pulled up here. Got a little bit of a mix playing in the background. I love listening to music while I'm trading. Kind of keeps me cool, relaxed. Just something in the background so it doesn't get too boring and quiet. All right, so with the gold US dollar, so what I saw here was a triple top. This was about 2 weeks ago. I saw the triple top that was formed here. I saw price break through. If you're familiar with the market patterns, triple tops, double bottoms, triple bottoms, there's a neckline, and when price breaks that neckline and retests it, excuse me, that's a good entry on the retest with nice confirmation. So price was struggling here as it broke the 200 EMA. Formed a double top here, stayed under the 50 level. Those were my confirmations. The two tops as well, I saw bounce off the 50 level. And obviously news drove this big candle down to the bottom as well. So basically what I'm looking at now, since I missed this entire move, I was too busy with my other trades. And actually rewind that. If you see that Fibonacci aligned right here, that's the stuff I look for. That's a real strong resistance or support level right there. But anyway, so I saw price break through that. News obviously fueled the fire like it did in my other trades with the US dollar, raising the Fed's raising the rate. But you'll see what I'm going to be waiting for right now is it broke the 61.8 fib, which is big. I'm going to watch for a retrace to it. And once I get a bearish candle off the 61.8, I'll be looking for an entry straight down, either down to the negative 27, or as I'm assuming it's probably going to go down to the trend line here from the pitchfork, which is going to be around the 78.6 fib. This retest right here too is going to be an extra confluence with the 61.8 as well as the trend line that I got drawn out here. So you can see all the way from back here, providing real nice support, price bouncing right through it. So I think the dollar is going to be gaining strength with the great news that had come out, especially with the Fed rate increase. So I think it's ultimately going to be going down. I'm not going to be surprised if there's going to be a retrace. Actually, I really want a retrace, to be honest, to get a safer entry. I'm not just going to go short right off the bat when the market opens, but I will be watching this real close because I definitely want to make some pips off of this. And actually the retest here too, so you guys can see there's a double top formed. This is right near the area of where we got the double top. So it'd be a nice little retest. Price can go up to here, retest this broken support, but it can also help retest actually that double top neckline, which would be just another confirmation there. So I'll be looking at that area. I'll try to keep you guys updated. Keep in mind though, with the signals, please do not expect me to give you an exact entry, an exact take profit, an exact stop loss. I don't set stop losses, I don't set take profits. I'll give you a rough idea where to get out, where to take your profits, and of course if I ever see anything that's going to go against us, I will tell you to get out or take your money already and close out your trade. But try to be diligent in being independent with that. And watch for any signals. If at any time you feel like it's going to go against, don't sit there waiting for me to post something on the group. And then in the meantime, lose all your money or lose all your profits that you're in and go into negative. So try not to do that. All right, so with gold, that's what I see. After I make this video, guys, feel free to ask me any questions you have about it. Next currency here, we're going to go down to USD JPY. So again, I saw this analysis about 2 weeks ago. I drew this out. If you guys look on my page, had a nice ascending triangle on the weekly. I saw that the price broke through there. I saw it going for that retest as I have written down, and I counted 5 waves. Now the reason I was short on this first, and we lost I think about 40 pips on this trade, is that I was expecting, and I know a lot of people were too that I've spoken with and even saw on TradingView, were expecting Head and Shoulders come about here. And I was expecting it as well, just because I saw the correction for wave A, wave B, and wave C. So I was expecting that to be the right shoulder. But what price actually did is fake this out. I saw an inverted Head and Shoulders form, bounced right off the 200 EMA, And then I actually, at this point, I was expecting price. Let me actually zoom in here real quick. I actually expected price to form a double top right up here because we entered the trade. We're actually right into here in profit, but price bounced right off of here. It created a double bottom off 200 EMA and went back up, which I wasn't too worried about. I was figuring it was going to be retesting this broken um, support zone that was acting like up here, retesting that resistance to fall back down, basically creating a double top in essence, especially around the 61.8 area as well. But price didn't actually do that. It broke up. Then I saw it retest down to 61.8 and form a little double bottom. Now once I saw that, if you actually look down here on the 50 RSI, 20 RSI that I have here, right above the 50 level, you could see at this peak here, price actually broke down through, faked out the break of the RSI at the 50 level, which is corresponding right here to the 200 EMA from the double bottom. And as you can see, it's even got like a slight divergence. This is slightly down, this is slightly up. And then price shot right above the 50 level. And as you can see here, price, when it broke through this little trend line, I guess you can call, it actually retested it, just like as it retested the 61.8 fib, and that's just that extra confirmation. And that's why the settings I have on my RSI I absolutely love. It really follows price and follows support resistance levels, and makes it very easy to trade, as well as giving me divergence. So right now I got this inverted head and shoulders. I got price breaking that neckline, did a fake out. At the same time, printed me a V pattern with the with the little correction here, going down to the neckline. And this is your ultimate entry right here. See, if I go down to the 1 hour, you can see price is making a nice double bottom for me here. It's not breaking this level either. This was previous resistance, and it's actually now acting as support. Now it's right near the 38.2 fib. I'm not too worried about it. It is a strong fib level, the 78.6. It failed to break twice, but I got a nice V pattern here. I got an inverted head and shoulders. I do show some bearish divergence. You could see RSI is making a lower high. Price is making a higher high. But I think this is ultimately, especially with the news driven, I think the dollar is going to be gaining strength. I think this is going to go up. Ultimately, what I believe may happen, this is just going to fake people out, as it already has with the head and shoulders, and just push trap sellers in with their positions to push price up. At the end of the day, somebody's got to fill the positions. If someone's buying, someone's selling. If someone's selling, someone's buying. So what I see here is a nice double top that was formed way back here. You see that? This neckline right here, let me actually draw this out. Nice little rectangle here. Is right around that 88.6 fib level that I have drawn out. And I think if anything, price will go up to this point once more. If it were to drop the dollar, I would expect for it to make a double top here, keep at the bearish divergence, and just shoot back down, which is also coincidentally somewhat retesting this broken trend line. But at this point already, price retesting this neckline, failing to really break down under, and went back up. I think this is going to actually break, and we could probably see price going up to this level here. But for now, I'm going to keep this trade open. Big point I'm going to give you guys, once you have your trade and you're in profits, you can put your stop loss at break even and then just let your trades run. You know, that's why I don't set take profits. I keep my losses short, keep them small, and I let my profits run. And that's really the way to win in this game. Is you got to let your profits run and keep your losses tight. So that's what I see for USD JPY. I'm expecting it to go up. Anything with the US dollar right now, I believe, is gaining strength. Next trade here that I was real happy about was GBP JPY. It was playing games with me though. It was just really just taking its time to drop. See, I got the wrong chart here. Alright. So I was looking at this last week, got some trend lines drawn out. So I see the higher resistance trend line right here. This actually looks better on the daily. Sometimes when you go down to the time frame, it just fucks things up. But the biggest thing that I saw here was the break of the trend line for the daily. So you see price went way up, keeping that trend line there, bouncing off of it real nice here, real nice here, real nice here, and then it broke right through it. Now whenever that happens, I always look for a retest. I don't enter as soon as it breaks, because sometimes you'll get lucky and then you could see it drop all the way down here and you made some profits. But more times than not, then price will actually break through, go actually retest real quick, and then drop back down. And especially if you're not using proper risk management, that's going to blow you out as soon as it goes back up. But anyway, I saw price break through that trend line. I saw price go back up to retesting it, forming a double top right here, which was really nice. As you can see again on the RSI, it's forming a double top right with it at the 50 level. It's not breaking through, so it's acting as resistance again, so not enough momentum to go up. At the same time, it's retesting my 200 EMA, which is my purple line. If you go down a little bit closer in, I got my 61.8 fib level as well here, so it's retesting that as well, forming a double top here, and my 50 EMA. So it's just got multiple confirmations, just multiple, and that's what I look for. The more confirmations I got, the more comfortable I feel with the trade. And with this one, I felt real good with, because of that break of the trend line on the daily, which is huge. I saw the retest. It wasn't a fake out. Price formed a double top, resistance at the 50 level on the RSI, and boom, price dropped. Now the main thing I'm going to look for here is price started struggling around this area, went back up, but it broke the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart. It's retesting it right now. It's kind of retesting that 50 fib as well. That's broken. So I was adding re-entries right around this area, right at around the 50 fib, because obviously, like anything, like I keep mentioning, if it breaks it, it's going to retest it, and that's your safest entry. And right now it's still under the 50, even on the 1-hour chart. So that's still big. I'm gonna see what happens when the market opens. You can see this level right here. It bounced off of, broke through. Neckline on this double bottom is there. It did break through it, went back down. It's kind of like in that retesting level there. So I'm going to watch this closely. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if price actually went back up to around our entry area, but I'm not going to be worried about it. I'm keeping this open. I feel good about it. And with harmonics, actually, you got a little bullish cipher actually that I believe is forming right here, and it's going to have to drive price down to this point, which will also be another buy signal for me, which I believe might be actually a nice big double bottom that gets printed on here on the weekly to just kind of fake people out and then just go right back up. So which would be a nice retest of the 200 EMA that's broken here and retested. So just a couple ideas that I have here. So I just wait for price. I follow the market. I try not to predict it too much. I just follow what price does, and I use my market patterns with a couple of the indicators that I have, the EMAs and RSIs. So this one I'm keeping open. I'll update you guys. If I see a nice bearish engulfing candle shoot back down from here, and this supply zone that's kind of retesting, as you can see, I'm gonna add re-entries, and I'll let you know. I'll actually add some myself. I already got 3 positions open on this. Next currency we got is NZD USD. Now actually, where's my phone? I think one of you guys, let me pull up my Telegram one here. Nighthawk, he actually had a question about that. Let's see. NZD USD. All right, yeah. Now I remember you mentioned the price might be going up to the 770 range right here for a retrace. Now that might be true. I could see that happening. I'm not sure what your chart looks like. Now I did predict possibly an inverted head and shoulders, with the head being here and the shoulders being there, and possibly forming the right shoulder here. Now the reason I entered this is I have my fibs drawn out. I got my 38.2 right here, right from this high to this low in the Fibonacci, and it went right up to 38.2. Now, if price retraces off of 38.2, it's dropping quick and fast. So I was looking for that, as well as this lined up with this nice supply zone here that I got drawn out as resistance, previously support. And I just saw these wicks. I just saw this constant wicks forming right off the 50 EMA, right off around the 38.2 fib. And when I see that, I see price struggling. I see exhaustion from the bulls, in this case going up, with price going up. And I went in for the sell. And I chilled right around the time too that the Fed rate increase happened. So obviously I knew the US dollar was going to be increasing. So I was selling and just went right in on it. Now the reason though, Nighthawk, that I think that price might not go up to that point that you're thinking, being it right around this area, is I got my Fibonacci aligned right here. I got my 38.2 lined up with my 23.6, and any Fibonacci number really that lines up or is close to lining up, like this negative 27 with the 50, is huge. It really acts as strong resistance and support. So when I see that and price broke right through it, I'm not gonna actually be surprised if price goes to retests it but then shoots way back down. What I think is gonna happen here, if you look on weekly, the NZD's actually been in the range. What I see happening here is price just forming a big double bottom. So I think it's going to shoot down to around this area, forming this double bottom, basically from up here down to here, creating a W, and then shooting back up. I would not be surprised with that. So I'm keeping this short open. I'll watch what happens when the market opens. Actually see right here this little neckline from this smaller double bottom that was created, and price broke right through it. It didn't go to retest and shoot up. It broke right through it. So I can see it retesting this Fibonacci being aligned, as well as this neckline trend line, and then going back down. But we'll see what happens. I wait for candles, look for price action, and I'll see if I get out or I'm going to add more entries. But I'm expecting price to go down to this area. I think it's actually forming a nice double bottom before it shoots back up, at least to even retest this 200 EMA, which would be somewhere in this area later on. Big thing too, forgot to mention, saw how price right here, and then you saw price right here, RSI, just did not go over that 50 line, bounced right off of it, and went back down. But this point right here, the 61.8, price did stall right there, so something to look out for on market open. But I'll keep you guys updated. It's right around near the area of this little trend line here, so price can bounce off of it and can shoot up from there, but we'll see what happens. Just gotta wait and let price tell you what it's gonna do. Now, next currency I got was the AUD USD. This one's been watching for a while. A lot of stuff going on. I had a wave count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the extended. So I'm counting the extended 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we actually caught pips right off of this inverted head and shoulders that happened all the way up to here, and then got out. And then at this point, I'm watching as the completion of wave 4 happened to go in for shorts. So now let's look at the 4-hour chart here. Yeah, give me a second, guys. Let me just get my thoughts together on this one and just remember exactly how this was happening. Just been watching a lot of currencies, doing a lot of things. I'm working on the website actually, working on the courses. I'm almost done with everything, just trying to get it all nice. I'm kind of a perfectionist in a sense, so it is actually a little tough for me doing this video because I like to have everything in line. As you can probably see from my charts, it looks like madness, but there's a science to it. I like everything in line. So let me see here real quick. Alright, so this is what happened. So I had price go up here to complete wave 4. You saw price right here made a higher high. Grab my trend line here. I saw price making a lower high. That was my bearish divergence confirmation. That was also in line with this trend line that I had going here. Price was retesting it. That was broken. Price went down, created a double top. So I saw this double top happen, created it. Now I didn't get down until price broke down to here and was retesting this neckline. As soon as I saw price retesting this neckline from here, that's when I was looking for my confirmations. Now price kind of stalled out here. Good thing I didn't enter right away, but again, I use proper risk management. I wouldn't be too worried, but this was sort of a fake out. At this point, I probably would have been looking to get out with this bullish candle, bouncing like that off the trend line, but I faked people out. So I actually waited. Once I saw price shoot down and get under the 200 EMA, I placed I placed a short actually right around 75.6. I placed it as soon as it broke to 38.2 because it retested this neckline, broke right down, created what looked like a double bottom, but went back up here, retested this broken um, supply zone, and went straight back down. As soon as I saw that, that was my confirmation, because see, I got my trend line coming here, and price was basically retesting it here as well. I also saw price break through the 50 level and went right back up to retest it right around this point. See how that lines up? And then as soon as I had that bearish big candle, went right down. Actually went all the way down to here, but closed over here. I saw that was with the news. I got in and it shot way down to the bottom. So I'm expecting price to go down even further. Reason being, bounced off to 61.8, broke 38.2. Next extension after breaking 38.2. Minor one is 0.236, but it's not as strong as a fib level. Usually if it breaks through that, I'm expecting the price to go to negative 27, and that's also, let me fix my chart here, what I got lined up with the fifth wave. So right now we're sitting around 74.4. I'm expecting price to go down to around, actually, next support level. See if we go down to the left. Let me draw this out real quick. So let me grab my horizontal line right around here. I like that. That's what I look for. I look for multiple touches. So I'll draw my zone from the bottom of that wick to the top of it, and this will be my next support zone that I see. But what I do expect price to possibly do is actually retest this broken support zone, which matches up right here. You see how it runs through? Actually retest that before price goes down and goes around this area, or even goes as far as the negative 27. Now there's obviously going to be lower support zones, but this is the next one coming, so this is the where I'm going to look for to possibly get out or stay in the trade. But so far so good with it. Now the next one we're going to look at is actually the Euro JPY. This was actually one of the requests that I had. JPY, I think I got it on here. Perfect. All right. So I haven't been paying attention to this currency pair actually, but I forget who. I think it was Greg. I think it was Greg in the group actually requested for me to look at this one. So what I actually really like about this one, and I was just having a ball with it, honestly. Like, I love trend lines, as you guys can see. I love fucking around with them. Excuse the language, I curse, so hope you guys are okay with that. But yeah, if you draw this trend line, as you can see from here, connecting this point, I saw it actually correlate even right around here, where you see price getting rejected here and acting as support right there. I also saw, if I draw my trend line from here to this point, which is a higher low, as the next stop for price, as a target. So I kept that open. Now drawing this trend line from this point to this point, I see price reflecting it on here as a support for this, and as resistance again for this area. So huge thing. I love trend lines. I love drawing them. It definitely helps you have places where you think are just like, why is price getting rejected here? Why is price getting rejected here? Or getting support here, when sometimes it doesn't necessarily line up with your demand zones or support lines. There's actually trend lines, and they're going to match up, and they work the same way. This will act as resistance, but when broken, it's going to act as support down the line. So I love to draw them out, and I just have fun with it. That's what you got to do. You got to have fun while you're trading. All right, so what I see here, head and shoulders is not textbook style. Nothing is in trading. So I guess this will be a little learning lesson for you. It's not always, let me draw this out. A head and shoulders isn't always a shoulder, a head, which is basically the peak, the higher triangle, down, and a right shoulder. And it's not always perfect. It's not going to be a left, middle, and right, and proportionally in size. Basically, what I see here is the shoulder here, which is going like this. I see the head being from this point all the way to this point and down, and I see this as the right shoulder. And coincidentally, if I see head and shoulders pattern, if the right shoulder prints me another head and shoulders pattern on a smaller time frame, which is what I have marked here, that is huge confirmation for me that the price is going to drop. And I actually wish I was checking this earlier, because if I seen this, I would have seen this head and shoulder forming as the right shoulder. I would have seen price jump right off the 200 EMA, which was at 88.6. And I would have seen price drop all the way down to here and go back up. And I would have had this resistance level. But either way, I think this is actually a great entry. It's actually right in time. I'm glad this was brought up, because you have your neckline from here to here for this head and shoulders. Neckline lining up with this one for this part. Second, phone's going off. For here, so price broke through it and is actually retesting it. And again, like I said, with the double tops and double bottoms, when price retests your necklines, that is a safe entry. And right here, as you can see, huge bearish candle right down, broke right through the 38.2. So now what I'm going to look for is basically for price. Wouldn't be surprised if it retraces up. It's most likely going to retest this 38.2 or somewhere around the 61.8 fib. And then I expect it to shoot down. Reason being, let me grab my brush here real quick. I got a high here, and I got a lower high here. If you're familiar with divergence, there's a thing called hidden bearish divergence, and that's basically the opposite in a sense. So you got a higher high here on the RSI. At the same time, it's bouncing off the 50 level again, like I keep mentioning, and that's right in line with this resistance that was previous support, and it's bouncing right off of it. Now, if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, right in here, I see a double top, nicely formed off the resistance. I see the neckline being here. I see that being a support line for the neckline, but now it's been broken, so now it's going to be resistance. So I see price retracing around this point and then shooting back down again. So I'm actually pretty confident with this one. I'm going to wait for extra confirmation. I always wait for candlestick confirmations. Oh, sorry about that. I know I still had the brush. But yeah, guys, this is what I see. I feel pretty good about it. It's a little tough explaining this. I kind of have to break it down. I'm working on the course, breaking all this stuff down. It's kind of weird explaining it, not broken down like that. I'm not sure if you guys, I hope you guys have done some research on your own and kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about when I'm explaining this stuff. But if you have any questions about any of this stuff, feel free to ask. I'm going to have a full course ready pretty soon with a full-on website and videos like this of me going straight into detail with these things. But if you have questions, feel free to ask. I definitely won't mind going over some of this stuff without you signing up for the course. I can go over it briefly. So let me just make sure here. I think that's every currency. Yep, that's every currency went over there. And I hope you guys like what I do. I hope we can make some pips next week. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And hopefully this doesn't look too distorted. I'm on a Mac on a big 27-inch screen. So hopefully this doesn't look too distorted on your screens. So, but yeah, I'm looking at a sell for Euro JPY, USD JPY. I'm going to be looking for a buy. I'm actually already in one, but I'll actually be entering another re-entry if I see it fit. If you look here with that inverted head and shoulders, V pattern, GBP JPY, I see the retest on double top. GBP JPY. this one. I see the retest of that broken support line before. There's nice resistance now. So I'll be waiting for that. So I get a bearish candle confirmation. I see the bounce off to 50. Be waiting for that. So GPB, JPY will be a sell. It's actually in a good area for me to add a re-entry. USD, JPY, I'll be looking for a re-entry, but I'll be just looking for price to go up from there. Correlated with the DXY, if you guys check that out. Actually, let me pull that up real quick. The US dollar index. I like to use this with the USD pairs that I trade. It's a nice extra confirmation. This will obviously read the strength of the US dollar and what it's in price and its value. But you can see I got an inverted head and shoulders. A nice one coming up here. I have this huge bullish candle. If you go up to the weekly part right here, I got a huge bullish candle coming right off the 200 EMA. So I think the dollar is going to be going up. I think it just faked some sellers out, thinking it's going to go down. It's still in the uptrend. Price has been in the uptrend. It bounced right nicely right off of here. It's over the 50 level. I think price is going to be shooting up for the dollar. So it's going to just reinforce everything else on the trades that we have right now. So, all right, guys. So that's going to end for the video. I hope you guys liked it. It's actually the first video I made for the group. I hope you guys like it. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to try to help you guys out as much as I can. And just get this website done so I can get you guys watching my videos, learning the way I see the markets, and get you guys independent. All right, hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Stay tuned for Sunday when markets open. I'll be looking at see what price does. If it gaps in our favor on our positions, I'll most likely close them out and then just wait for price to close those gaps. Actually, real quick, if you guys are not familiar with gap trading, market gaps when it opens on Sundays, usually. Now, when it forms that gap, it's got to close it. So you can actually trade to where if you see price gap where it opens, let's say instead of here and opens here, price will always go back up. Not necessarily right away, but most of the time it will, and it will close that gap before doing what I was intending to do. So you can actually trade those. So I usually don't leave trades open over the weekend, but in this case, I'm expecting more drops. So if price gaps in our favor, I'll basically be closing the trades out and then just waiting for re-entries as price will go back up to close those gaps. So stay tuned till Sunday when markets open. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend.